For the past couple of weeks, we've been working with the university to prepare for a large demonstration and to make sure that our community is safe.
And when you say working with the university to prepare, do you mean police?
Our police department has been working very closely with the university police department to prepare. And what we saw on February 1st is that even though a lot of the activity was on campus, it moved off campus. So we're also gearing up to make sure that we are prepared to respond and keep our community safe.
You know, I don't have to tell you, but there's been a lot of criticism about what the Berkeley police have and have not done. There's a so-called stand-down order. You can tell me whether that's actually true or not, but Berkeley police were clearly trying not to get involved when they didn't have to. Explain that to us.
Well, there's a lot that's been said by the right wing that's not true. There was no stand-down order. Our police were there. They responded to arrest people. We've made 30 arrests in the last couple of events that have happened in Berkeley over the past couple of months. We are still going to be going after people that have committed felony violence and holding them accountable. And we intervened to try to get people out of harm's way. There was a real concern that things could escalate and pose a threat to not just the public, but also to officers. And so it's hard to balance intervening and potentially escalating the situation, especially when these groups are coming in to commit violence, to fight each other. A lot's been said about Berkeley and our commitment to freedom of speech. Well, we're committed to freedom of speech. We have gone above and beyond to make sure that people, regardless of their political views, including the more conservative groups, have a right to be heard and have a right to engage in peaceful assembly. But what we're doing is, what we're seeing is the free speech being co-opted and violence being done in the name of free speech. And violence is not free speech, vandalism is not free speech. And we will protect people's right to free speech and to engage in First Amendment activity. But when you commit violence and when you destroy property, we're going to hold you accountable.
Now, I guess to drill down what specifically people are talking about is you will see in some of the videos that people shot, there's violence taking place and police not getting in the middle of that. And the concern is somebody's going to get hurt.
Certainly. And our police were there, and I think they responded in a very thoughtful and strategic way. And we're always learning after every single incident and adapting our approach. And like I said, we've been, preparing, knowing that there's going to be a major event happening on April 27th. We're working with the University of California, and we're going to do what we need to do to keep our citizens safe and our businesses safe.
In some cases, and I'm not saying this is what happened in Berkeley, but in some cases we've seen through the years a lack of preparation meant there weren't enough cops around. Can you assure the public there will be enough police? Are people taking time off of their vacation? I know you can't get into too many details.
Yeah, I can't get into specific tactics. Not only are those decisions being made by the police department, but we are preparing, for April 27th. We will have our officers will be there. They will be ready to respond. They'll be ready to arrest people that break the law, and to keep our community safe.
Finally, you've personally been under attack.
Yes.
Some people said you were part of BAMN.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where that came from. Sometimes the
Well, it came from Breitbart, and they're not real news, they're fake news. Well, and they didn't even reach out to me to ask for a comment.
Where'd they get that from? Is that?
Well, I had liked the page, number of years ago. I also like Donald Trump on Twitter. Doesn't mean I'm a Trump supporter. I want to follow what Donald Trump is saying, just like I wanted to follow what BAMN was saying. They are a very vocal and extremist group in our community, and I wanted to make sure I'm knowing the things they're saying and the actions that they're engaged in, so we can respond accordingly. So once again, it's the right wing is putting out misinformation, trying to paint Berkeley as being a city that is hostile to conservative views, when that's not the case at all. That we are, we support violence, we support, we support vandalism. That's not the case at all. We deplore violence and vandalism of property, and we are actively working to hold those people accountable who've broken the law and keep our community safe. So we are the birthplace of the free speech movement. We will continue to protect people's right to freedom of speech, but violence is not free speech. And when people cross the line and commit violence, we're going to hold you accountable.
What about speech that is very disagreeable? Like Ann Coulter is very provocative. Do you think I've heard this term that hate speech is not free speech, but you know, is it? Should people be able to say what they think in Berkeley?
Well, I've seen Ann Coulter on TV, and I haven't really found what she said to make a whole lot of sense or to be particularly interesting. So if people want to come and they want to listen to her and protest her, they have that right. But even though I disagree with Ann Coulter, you know, she has a right to come to Berkeley and be heard, just like the people that support her and the people that disagree with her have a right to be heard. But to engage in nonviolent, peaceful exchange of ideas and peaceful assembly. That's what we are going to allow, not people engaging in violence and using her coming to campus as a way to engage in destructive and violent behavior. So, you know, even though I disagree with Ms. Coulter, she has a constitutional right to be heard, and we're going to do what we can to allow people on all sides who want to speak out to be heard. But people that are going to come and that are going to engage in violence and vandalism, we're going to hold you accountable, and we're going to arrest you, and we're going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.